But still with me, I have criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor David Bruno. David, I would appreciate your insights into this really fascinating case. And then we have this very well-decorated doctor over the years who was able to, according to prosecutors, get away with this for years until it was uncovered.
Yeah. Well, first of all, my biggest problem, and if I were Baez, I would have been screaming about this, is that we just heard that doctor testify that there was 35 problem patients. And he's only alleged in this indictment before this jury to be 14. So how prejudicial is that? That's extremely prejudicial, especially considering they're determining the guilt on 14 decedents. You know, this is a tough case for Baez and the defense team because of the exorbitant amount of fentanyl that was administered here. And there's doctors that are coming on, doctors that have testified about what's regular, what's recommended, you know, and those levels that were given and administered are way above in the beginning of this story, 10 to 20 times. I mean, so they have a big problem. So what Jose Baez and the defense team is trying to do here is basically saying, well, others missed it. And that is true. I mean, I agree that there should have been procedures in place to alert staff as to the administration of these very high levels. But unfortunately for this defendant, that is not a defense. That will not end the day here. That will not be an acquittal. You know, so I think he's got problems. And right now, Jose Baez and the team, they're making issues. They're making issues. They're objecting. And they're very difficult issues. When we talk about the admissibility of privileged chart information of decedents and whether or not experts or staff could testify to them, it starts to muddy the waters a lot legally for an appeal. Because if this individual is convicted, then there's going to be issues of appeal that the appellate division, the appellate court's going to have to look at. So that's one of the jobs of the trial attorneys at the trial level, is to definitely make your objections timely, argue things to create some issues of appeal, potentially make some of the evidence inadmissible. But that last clip about hearing about 35 patients in problem charts, I think is one of the biggest problems that I've heard in this case so far, because he's not on trial for 35. And it may lead this jury to believe that there's other problem cases when it's not subject to this indictment.
I agree with you there. We know the prosecutor actually dropped some of those, only chose to pursue these 14. But again, I agree with you. They made the right objection in that moment. Thank you, David Bruno, for joining me tonight. I really appreciate your time and your expert insight, sir. All right, the adopted parents of two missing toddlers.